Hey there, and welcome to Starry Project. Since this is one of my very first videos on my new channel here, I just want to mention that this channel will be a combination of mostly real-life off-roading and Jeep project content, but there will be some gaming content mixed in, mostly whenever I can do gaming that is Jeep or off-road related. So that's what we are doing today. We are in the game Cities Skylines, and let's go to a little tour here of the city that I've been working on for a while. Kind of do this automated aerial views here. I've been playing Cities Skylines for 3 or 4 months or so. I've started several cities and progressed them to various sizes. But this is kind of a medium-sized city. We'll click off of this automated tour, and I'll do this on my own here. So sorry if this is at all a little. I'm still getting used to the controls of rotating around and moving around and going from ground level to aerial. So sorry if it's a little confusing, but I'm going to try to orient myself here on the main part of the city. So this city is the downtown section is kind of right here, and the older part of downtown is right here, and the main industrial area of the city is up here in the upper right. Then there's a few different residential areas. This is the initial residential area I made, which is on a very tight grid called the Village. Then we have a couple other more upscale residential areas up here on this plateau called the Cliffs and Ivy Plateau. Then we have some other residential over here closer to downtown. We have some apartments and other complexes over here, and some other residential kind of mixed in over here. But the area, and then there's another residential and business area up here as well. But the area we are focusing on today, since we are making this Jeep and off-road related content, is over here off to the side of the older part of the residential area is a fairly heavily forested area that goes up a pretty good size mountain here. So what my plan is to make some off-road trails going up through up across this hill here and around the kind of mountaintop. So this little parking area I made, I'll zoom in on it again in a minute, but my plan is to have a trail kind of go up this little incline here to this part of the plateau, kind of circle around, and then there's a higher plateau right here, and then also to have an offshoot of the trail come down here and go down the water line here. So this is all stuff that I've watched several people stream Cities Skylines. I have never seen anybody do exactly what I'm doing. This is a somewhat modded version of Skylines. If you're familiar with this game, this is a vanilla map, but I do have some downloaded assets from the workshop, so it's kind of a combination. Not very heavily modded, but this is the little parking area that we have here, and we do have these are some downloaded assets. These are the only Jeep content I could really find was this Jeep, which comes in a few different colors. So before we kind of work on this mountain trail, it's called right now, brings me to my question of the day, which is, what was your first car? So I have had Jeeps. It was not my first car though. Actually, this one is not a Jeep. This green one over here is a Suzuki Samurai, which I have owned also. It was not my first car. My first car was a Ford Maverick, but my third car was a green Suzuki Samurai. And then I've also owned a few different Jeeps, including a blue TJ. So leave me a note in the comments below. Let me know, what was your first car. Be interested in hearing that. And if you do have a Jeep or any other kind of off-road vehicle, what was your first off-road vehicle as well? So let me know in the comments. Be very interested to see what everybody else started off driving. So my kind of way I like to work on road building and developing the areas that I develop is actually like to use a lot of the assets that are native to the map that I'm using, and rather than just go, a lot of people kind of just go and delete whole areas of trees and stuff. I actually like to move stuff around. So I do have Move It installed, and that is what I'm going to do, is move some of these trees as if we were actually kind of building this off-road trail here. Let's zoom in a little more, because we're going to have this trail kind of come up and go to the right here pretty sharply, because I want to kind of have this trail go off to the right up this hill and then have an offshoot of it come down closer to the water here. So we're going to kind of start clearing the path this way, and I know I'm going to have to do some terraforming to kind of get this to look right, because when I put in the dirt road on some steep inclines, it'll automatically kind of grade the road, and it's not always the way I would like it. So I will be kind of making it look like a real trail as much as I can. So after we kind of clear these trees and put the road through, I'm going to do some stuff down closer to road level, as I did down here at the beginning of the trail by the parking area. To make it look a little more natural, we'll kind of spread some rocks out, kind of widen the road in some places, narrow it in some other places, and make it look a little more natural than this 2-lane track that is the vanilla dirt road in the game. Over here, actually, these are some of the rocks and things that I moved that were in this area initially when I started. So rather than delete them, I kind of just stacked them over there. So that's some of what we'll use. And then I also have some other rocks and trees that we'll put in to make the trail look good and try to look as natural of a trail as we can. So let's just kind of move some of these trees around a little bit here. And I did try to do this yesterday as a live stream on Twitch, and unfortunately I'm doing this on a laptop, and unfortunately it just can't handle live streaming and running this the game at the same time. So let's see, we're going to try to wind this up to here, but not in a straight line. We kind of want to make it look a little natural, and then we'll put in some obstacles that kind of would be native to an off-road trail. See, I did try to do this as a live stream on Twitch, and that just did not work out. The audio kept cutting in and out. So I'm just recording this, and then then it'll be on YouTube where you're watching it. And so I don't have any music on. I may add some music in the background after I record this, but I don't really have music on. I don't want to put a face cam on because it will affect my frame rate, so I want this to look as good as I can possibly get it while doing it on a laptop. So I got a pretty good area cleared for a road up to this next section. So let's go ahead and put in some road here. over here. So have this curve around. So yeah, I'm still getting used to the controls in the game. So I am definitely open to suggestions if anybody who is familiar with Skylines. If you have any ideas or any suggestions on anything I can do to make this content better, to make this more realistic of an off-road area, I am definitely open to suggestions. Kind of want to have this curve off this way and then back, just to give it a little bit of a kind of a natural look. We're just going to do kind of a little section of this today. I'm planning on doing this in several shorter videos rather than one long stretch. So we're going to make kind of wind around that way, just like that. Now we have that much, so that's kind of a good start to the trail. Like I said, it's going to go up, continue going up this incline here. We'll loop back around this way is the best way to get up this hill without going on the really steep terrain that's over here and over here, and then go up and wander around this plateau here and wind around back up here on top of this highest point is about here. It will make the offshoot coming off of around here and then winding back around to the waterfront. But I kind of want to give an idea of what I want the end result to look like. So I'm going to come back down here to the start of the trail, and I've moved a good amount of trees around, so it is pretty heavily wooded along the trail like I want it. I think the woods will kind of thin out as I go up the hill, but this bush does not want to move. Don't really want this plant here to be right smack in the middle of the trail. There we go. There was another one up here. Let's take those guys out. I think it'll be easier to keep this on aerial view right now. So we're going to go over here to the beginning, and if you know of any assets that are kind of would be good for what I'm trying to do, definitely let me know in the comments. I have a few things that I have downloaded. Yeah, they're over here. These are not ideal, but I kind of just putting a few things in place just to kind of soften the edge here. I'll rotate these once I get a few placed in. I don't know if they're all different or not. I think they were supposed to be different from each other, so it's not like the same thing over and over, but we're going to kind of have an area here where the trail gets a little bit wider, where I have this opening here, and then kind of up further we'll have some areas where the trail narrows a little bit. But yeah, let's rotate some of these around a little bit. Kind of, I'll put some rocks off the side of the trail just to kind of make the edge a little more natural. I think once we get more up into the mountains and out of this, where it's a little more steeper, we'll put some big rocks and boulders. Over here, I'm kind of just going to do some smaller rocks, and we'll put in some. Not what I meant to do. We'll put in some shrubs and things. Let's see, I kind of like these. The evergreen scrub. These are them. yeah, the pine scrub kind of looks, I think it looks natural in here, so we're going to put some kind of pine scrub along the side of the trail, leading back kind of into the taller stuff that's in the forest. So just kind of want to soften the edge of the trail, as if it was in the wilderness. We'll kind of fill in some stuff out here in the woods. Right now it's a little bit sparse on trees. There's some pretty big openings that I kind of want this to be like a really fairly heavy forested section down here, and then it'll open up as you get higher up the mountain. So for the wild conifer, kind of fill in some of this, put this in a little bit closer to the road. I'll actually go back here to my extra little rock pile here. And since I already have these guys, rather than spawn in new rocks, we'll just bring in some of these. Kind of tuck them in here. So yeah, let me know if anybody else, if you or anybody else you know has ever done kind of an off-road area in any cities that you've built. If you have played Cities Skylines, let me know if you have any real-life off-roading experience. I do have some. I am planning on getting the Jeep I have now is not really suitable for off-roading. I have a Jeep Patriot, which I have taken on gravel roads and some fire roads, but it's not suitable for serious off-roading. So I'm planning on trading that in and getting a Jeep that is suitable for off-roading within the next several months, and that's when some of the real-life content will come into play here on the channel. So yeah, this is kind of what I have in mind here, and unfortunately the automated camera here it follows the terrain, so it's riding on top of the kind of rides on top of the tree line as I go, and the terrain line, so it's kind of hard to do a good ground level view, because right here that's as low to ground level as it will get. But let's see, as I move over here where there's fewer trees, it'll get a little closer to ground level. Let's go back over here on the trail, but it's kind of riding, so if any suggestions on how I can do a little better at getting ground level view would definitely be appreciated as well. So yeah, by no means am I a professional gamer. I have live streamed before. I used to have a real estate channel that I live streamed real estate related content, mostly the game House Flipper. So I have live streamed Twitch and YouTube live, but haven't done so in a while, so I am a little out of practice. We're just spinning in circles here for no reason at all, so sorry about that. Let's go back to the aerial. I think the aerial really, I wanted to be able to do a ground level as if we're driving a Jeep, but I think the aerial is going to be the best way to kind of really see what I'm doing here. So put a little down tree right there. But I am going to, I think, end things here for today. Just kind of wanted to post this video to give a little taste at what my goal was. I do plan to stream some more of this trail build content over the next several weeks, kind of into spring, and then we'll kind of transition into a lot more real life content. But for now, my plan is to post a video once a week on Thursday evenings. So please leave me a comment again with the question of the day: what was your first car? And if you've had off-road vehicles, what was your first 4x4, your first off-road vehicle? So leave that in the comments. Any suggestions, I am definitely open to them. Leave those in the comments, and if you could, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out, lets me know if you know, if I'm providing good content. At least, you know, definitely if you enjoyed the content, please leave a like, subscribe. Definitely would like this channel to grow. And until my next video, please be kind to each other, dream big, set big goals, because stars are for reaching. So get out there and reach for some stars, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, y'all.